Welcome to the Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary. This is Scotty V. If you have been listening to the podcast this week, everybody, you know that I've been talking about Yaya Han's book, The World of Cosplay, and I've been going through all of the sections of that book. I have the book here to share with you. Okay, super cool book. It is available on her website, and of course, we are shamelessly plugging the book because we like it, not because we are being paid or endorsed in some way to do so. But yes, the book, as I've been explaining all week on the podcast, of course, you can find the links in the description below, hit the like button, all that good stuff. What I've been explaining is there are 5 parts of the book. Okay, and you can see that on the table of contents if I can bump into my stuff and show you. Okay, so there's 5 parts, and we've covered 4. We've covered Welcome to the World of Cosplay, we've covered the history of cosplay, we've covered creative expression of cosplay, and we've covered duality in the podcast. So we're not really going to talk too much about those sections today. We'll probably just give you a little bit of an overview here. Really, part 1 is just talking about cosplay in general, talking about Yaya Han and how she got into cosplay and how it became her full-time job of sorts, her career of sorts, that she is a small business owner, that she has these wonderful partnerships with businesses like Joanne Fabrics. And you know, she goes into a short overview of being an artist and being someone who really needed to express herself. And history of cosplay really talks about just how long cosplay has been a thing. It talks about how it's evolved over time, and again, how she has evolved with it over time in her history in cosplay. So she talks about her first cosplay that kind of put her on the map, so to speak. Creative expression, it's really about getting into the competitive landscape of cosplay, the different types of cosplayers, the focus of what people do in cosplay now versus what they used to do, how cons have kind of influenced all of that, and really just what it, you know, like just the whole landscape of how competitive cosplay and casual cosplay and, you know, the online cosplayers have all evolved as time has gone on. Part 4 talks about duality, which is a lot of the things that we talk about here on the show. We talk about the bullying and the trolling and the body image issues and the psychological problems, all the little things that we are not qualified to solve problems for, but that we know exist inside of cosplay, and that she really covers in quite a bit of detail, just the issues that surround people and the industry in general. And those get discussed in part 4. Today, part 5, the fun stuff. And yeah, you know, get the book. Just go get it. Just go to her website, go to Yaya Han's website. It's really easy to find her online. She's the #2 cosplayer in all of existence. And find the book and buy it. It's really cool. She will sign it for you. We can show you that. She signs the book, okay? She signs the book and you get a print. At least I did. I get a print. So she will give you that. Camera will not focus on the bed, but that's okay. She will give you the print, and it's super fun. It's super cool. I'll probably buy more merchandise. She has a calendar coming out, and as you know, I can't really pan over from here, but my Cumbermatch calendar is getting close to the end of the year. So we will want to replace that, and Yaya Han's calendar might be a really good choice for that replacement. She has put out 9 calendars, and they're all fairly cool, fairly awesome. And yeah, so yeah, just go find stuff to buy. That's what cosplayers like to do, right? Like we just love to buy things. So support her. She does so much for the community. She is such a great human, despite the things that have come up on the interwebs, and with a show that is actually titled after my own show, in part because of the inspiration that she has given to the show and that Sci-Fi Channel show did as well. Part 5 talks about some of that. It talks about just like being a business owner and developing partnerships, and how she goes from this small cosplayer to really blowing up and becoming a designer and becoming someone who's very, very well known. And she talks about the struggle of intellectual property and the struggles that you have as a business owner and all of the things that she had to learn in business in order to make it make sense for her brand and for her as a cosplayer. So there's a huge learning curve. And I would say that anybody in the cosplay space, you are going to have a huge learning curve with the business part of it. That part is like no problem for me. The biggest learning curve for me is the cosplay part because all the business stuff I have. So that is kind of the gap that I want to bridge with the show and with some of the things that I will be bringing out to you in years to come. But Yaya has all of that. I mean, she would probably not bet, well, maybe she would, I don't know, benefit from things that I talk about on the show. But that she was on the reality show about cosplayers called Heroes of Cosplay, and that show really painted her in a negative light, and that they really put her on a spot, and they cut things up to make her look like kind of a villain, and that is 100% not who she is and not what she's about. She would never judge a contest that she would like shame someone in any way. She would never do that. She might question things. She might bring things up about how to do something better, but there's no way that Yaya Han would ever sit there and say, you know, that this person or that person, their look or whatever it is about them physically, that there's something wrong with them. She would never do that. She did get a lot of flack about that because, you know, everything we see on TV and on the internet has to be true, but it is not in her case. She goes into just a fair amount of detail in the last section of the book about what it's really all about, and that there is no, I mean, everybody online talks about this. There's no success, or there's no overnight success, right? There's no overnight success. What you do is you put in the work. You put the work in. It's dedication, consistency, and really a fair amount of luck. So if a lot of the things that happened to Yaya Han hadn't gone the way that they did, I mean, I know firsthand that if you get into lawsuits in a business, that it can wreck your business. It can get you back past the point of no return, and you're just not coming back from it, and you got to start all over again. And sometimes you never get that far. Like sometimes you have to go back and get a job, and you have to recuperate all your losses, and you do not get the opportunity to come back. And she was fortunate enough to not only have that, but after the show went on to TV, and after she went through all of the headaches of filming on Heroes of Cosplay, that she was approached by businesses who wanted to partner with her and have her designs and patterns circulated. And you know, she doesn't control the distribution. That is all controlled by corporations, but she does produce the patterns. She does create all of these wonderful things for cosplayers to use. Her ears were also a big problem. Such an interesting story, so many great instances, so many great pictures. I mean, they're just fantastic. I mean, the whole book is such an inspiration. If you are getting into cosplay, if you are in cosplay, if you are just looking for some place to get started, or if you're getting a little bit stuck and you want to know how the people at the top have really gone from, you know, the starting at zero and really making something of themselves. And again, it wasn't overnight. It took 20 years for her to do this. Results not typical either. This is, you know, one example of someone who's been able to do this with costume design, and it's such a great example of you know, when you find out where Yaya Han came from and what she's been up to, and you know, just her dedication to this, and how she had that soul-sucking job that many of us do have, and she turned that into something. She didn't decide that she had to stay with this path of kind of being a miserable human, that she decided she would do what she had passion for and that she was good at, and she started to work on her skill sets in art, and that became something for her. She has put so much emphasis on being able to control her own brand, that something we talk about on the show quite a bit is that you have to have a website, you have to be able to control your intellectual property, and it isn't just about having a Facebook page on social media, because you don't actually control that, Facebook does. And you have to have something that you can call your own if you want to go this far down the road of being a full-time cosplayer, a competitive cosplayer, and get out of just having it be a hobby which isn't the point of the book or the story. It's really more of a case study, in my opinion. Well, from my perspective, it's a case study in what you can do as a small business owner, somebody who has a passion for something and wants to get somewhere with the skill sets that they have or want to develop. You know, she goes to all sorts of cons all over the place, and I'm sure she'll be getting back into them. I really hope that she is going to be a judge at the World Cosplay contests, you know, at the big show at C2E2. Usually they do a huge cosplay contest, and it's amazing. And last time I only went for one day, so I didn't get to see it. But this year I will be there all day, so I will be able to see the contest, and hopefully she is one of the panel judges. I can't imagine that she would not be, but you never know. If she's not driving up to Chicago or flying up to Chicago, they may not, but it would be so cool to see her there now, having read her book and just knowing what she is all about, and then being able to internalize some of that for myself. She talks about the important reasons of becoming a cosplayer, that it is about solving the problem for your client, for your customer, for your industry, and not about the fame and the money. Well done, Yaya Han. Very good example for all of you climbers out there, that you really do need to solve a problem. And just putting out content and just gaining attention isn't enough. You know, she is a business owner. She is creating something, and she is solving a problem for someone. Doesn't matter what kind of a problem. It doesn't have to be something detrimental. You know, it's not like our health is at risk because we're of something related to cosplay. But overall, my thoughts on this book is it's well written. She spent a lot of time. She's well researched. She provides a fantastic overview for a very large audience to get into a more, help them understand and inspire them to understand more about cosplay. There's resource sections throughout the book. So really, if you're going to spend 25 bucks on something, here we go. Here's your 25 bucks, you know, get it as a Christmas gift or something like that. You know, we got holidays are coming up. Maybe she'll have some sales on her website, you know, go and buy stuff from Yaya Han. And also just looking at the website, she's done a lot of customization to it, but just a plug for the website and what you can do with your websites. It's built on Wix. So it's not like this is a ground up WordPress. I had to know how to do all this coding and programming. She probably worked with a programmer to do some of the customizations, or maybe even did them herself. She's a smart girl. So you can go and get a Wix site, go get a domain, and you can put something together. I have a website. You can hit the like button and check the links below. And of course, go to www.heroesofcosplaysanctuary.com, and you can find my merchandise there, and you can buy stuff from me, just like you can from Yaya Han. So yeah, at least just check it out. And it may inspire you to also build your own website and just invest the money. It's super not expensive to do this. We're talking a couple of $100 a year, like $10 to $20 a month, to have a web presence that is yours and doesn't go away if the algorithm decides to shut you down. So check it out. Again, I don't get paid to say this. I just find that Yaya Han is one of the greatest resources inside of the cosplay community for you and me to really just be inspired and to understand where you can go with cosplay should you decide that it is something that you want to do full time and go crazy with, because you can. You know, this is definitely a road that you can go down if you're already in it, and maybe you're already going down it. You know, there's all sorts of people out there who are doing just as well, just as much as Yaya Han does, and it's so amazing to see every single time all the costume designs, all the wonderful things that people come up with. Looking forward to seeing that in just under, well, I think it's about 32 days at this point. By the time this comes out, it'll be a little under that. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Thanks so much for listening to the cast this week about Yaya Han's book. We have a little bit more content left in the tank for the season, so I hope you will be back. We'll be talking about Star Wars for at least a week. We got the 100th episode coming up. I am 3 episodes away from number 100, so that's great. 100 videos on YouTube and almost 250 podcasts for Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary, so that's wonderful for me. Yay, I've created all sorts of content, and I'm very excited to be sharing all of this with you and getting into the next season. So thanks so much for being here, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode.